What's up, everybody? I'm back with another roller coaster review, and it's been a while since I did one of these, but finally, getting around to finally, you guys, in the review of Hersheypark, we went to Hersheypark, and I was able to get on 13 of their 14 coasters and pick up 14 total credits as a result. And so there will be 12 coaster reviews coming out because of that. And today is the first one of those, and I am pretty much going down the list of the order we got on them for the first time at least. So, of course, it's only natural that I start with the coaster that I rode first. It's at the front of the park, Candymonium. Their B&M hyper coaster that opened in 2020 at the park. It's, I think, their tallest coaster at the park. I know they have two hypers, but I think this is the taller of the two. Candymonium was part of a big renovation of the front entrance to Hersheypark with the new signs and like the new plaza area, kind of make the area feel more open. And Candymonium definitely helps with that in a major way. This was one of the more premier coasters that you can see on the skyline, though you can't really see it when you're driving up to the park originally. You can only it's so far away from like the rest of like the main coasters that you can see coming in that you can only see when you're like driving up and actually getting into the parking lot. But it's pretty distinctable once you see it. It just might take you a little while to see it. This is my second B&M Hyper as well, behind Diamondback. If you want to see my review of Diamondback, you can go to the Coaster Reviews playlist and check that one out. And I really like Diamondback, so I was hoping for some good stuff coming into this one. I got some notes, so let's talk about it. First off, again, like I said, really cool plaza. This is a really cool entrance coaster to walk in and kind of see the fountain that they've got going on there, and it's a really cool shape, like a Hershey Kiss thing. The Candymonium sign looks really good. There's some cool lighting that they do with the water and everything that you can do with the coaster, and there's like a bunch of points where you can walk under the coaster, and it's like right above you. Some really good points for pictures as well. You can definitely tell this was a more... You can definitely tell that this was a newer area in the park because it was more attended to than some of the other areas in the park. So that was really cool. Gave me a good feel to how the park was going to be going in. One of my biggest downsides, and probably my only true well, I have a couple downsides. The first is the operations on this ride are not good at all. At least when I went. Now, I only got one ride in on it, but the operation, I mean, we walked in, and it said on the app that it was like a 20-minute wait. It's like, that's not bad, for a hyper right at the front of the park, for a newer coaster. We walk in, and the line's like, it's right up to the station. We were right to the station when we walked in. It's like, sweet, it's going to be less than 20 minutes. It was probably about 20 minutes, if not a little more, because of the fact that the operations are so slow. They have a lot of trains, but they like to do stacking, and I think this is a thing that is pretty common between B&M hypers. I didn't really experience it when we rode Diamondback, though. I did experience it here for sure. They have they had three trains going, and they were just continuously stacking them. They were just moving super slow with the unloading and onboarding process for the ride. It was well over 2 minutes every time, which is just abysmal, especially when they've got a clock going and it reaches 120 seconds and they're still not nearly ready to go. And they wait forever to dispatch, and it just didn't feel like that they really cared. And, as like I said in the Hersheypark review, they really don't interact with you at all. The staff just, they didn't really seem like they were in tip-top shape for this job. So, that's not even to say they were bad or like mean or anything like that. They were just slow and a little bit uncaring, in my opinion. And that kind of set it off to a bad start. But you do get to, but another thing you get to do while there is you get to walk through some cool colored areas as you're going up. Once you walk into the state, like once you walk in, most of the line is like in shade, which is really, really good, especially on a hot day. We didn't get to really use that much though because the line was so short, but it is something you definitely get to see. And they got cool colors of lights going through. So that was cool to experience. They got that when you walk off the ride as well, which is a nice touch. You know, they don't really do a lot. Sometimes parks don't do a lot when they're exits for the coasters, but this one they did put a little effort into it, and I enjoyed that. So, and then also the restraints. I think I talked about this with both Diamondback and Orion because they both, and I almost talk about it here because they all use the same restraints. These restraints suck. I'm not even going to lie. They don't look like they're going to be that restrictive. And I mean, like, I'm a big dude, okay? I'm fat. I know, but I don't have trouble fitting into most coasters. But it's something with these newer B&Ms that I just have a problem with. I had a problem with Valraven fitting into that one, which I never had before. And that's kind of the V&M wing ones, the wing vest restraint kind of thing. That's a problem. That's not this one. This one, you know what I'm talking about. They had a lot of trouble getting me into this ride. It clicked pretty easily, but for some reason they just wanted to shove me as far into this as they possibly could. And that's another thing. It just slows down the process. And I get for safety, like they probably wasn't fully locked, so I can commend them for making sure that the ride is safe and everything. I'm not saying that's a bad problem at all, but you know, the restraint system's just not the greatest. They could have went with a lap bar, a normal lap bar, and I think it would have worked just fine here. So. Then the ride experience itself, it felt very similar to Diamondback in my opinion as far as layout went, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's smooth. This is a very, very smooth ride, butter smooth in my opinion, which allowed me to enjoy some of the great airtime. Even though I did get stapled on this ride pretty good, I was still able to enjoy a lot of the good airtime that this ride has to offer. Which was a lot of fun. I am a big airtime guy, and I definitely got to enjoy a lot of it here, so that was good. You know, maybe I would have gotten to enjoy a little bit more, but I didn't get stapled, but, you know, I got to enjoy some. Can't be too mad. This ride also has a lot of some pretty jank turns near the end. The ending to it is pretty unique compared to other B&M hypers that I could see, or from, you know, because I haven't ridden any other ones, but I did like the turns. They go by the water and then up and then around. That's pretty cool. And I really like that. So, but you know, otherwise it just kind of felt pretty similar to Diamondback. You know, it goes out in the drop and then you got the big turnaround and some more airtime hills. And it's all good stuff. It really is. But nothing like too extraordinary in my opinion. Plus we baked, and plus the stacking with when you're on the ride, you know, you deal with the stacking, you're stuck in the sun on the brake run for a long time. So that can be pretty annoying as well, but not that big a deal in my opinion, really, because you're done with the ride at that point. But I mean, other than that, there wasn't really anything noteworthy to talk about this ride. It was a good ride. I enjoyed it. It's definitely top 5 in the park, if not top 6. I'd say top 6 for sure, if not top 5 for me. But the slow operations kind of killed it, and the restraint system kind of killed anything else that I really could have enjoyed from this ride. It didn't feature anything super unique, but I think it's a ride that Hersheypark is definitely glad that they got, and I think it's popular with the crowds, especially with it being near the front of the park. So for my final score for Candymonium, I'm probably going to have to give this one probably an 8 out of 10. It's a really solid ride, and I would definitely recommend getting on it if you are at Hersheypark. I think it's definitely worth it. Probably want to do it later in the day because it's probably going to get the longer lines in the morning because it's right at the gate. But it is definitely worth a ride. 20-30 minute wait, probably worth it. So that's going to do it for this review. If you've ever ridden Candymonium, I'd like to know your thoughts about it in the comments section down below. Where does it rank among the B&M hypers? I thought Diamondback was better just because it has a little bit more uniqueness to it. It's a little bit longer of a ride. It's got the splashdown element. The operations were better. But Candymonium's not bad by any means. So I'd like to know your thoughts about it. As far as hypers go, I mean, they can include Magnum. You can also include Skyrush. We'll be getting the Skyrush in another review soon. But again, I think it's the weaker out of the four, even out of that. So there you go. But again, not a bad ride. So that's going to do it for this review. Stay tuned for much more amazing content, including more coaster reviews. I got 11 more from Hersheypark to do, and you can go check out the other ones in the playlist as well. So, but otherwise, it's going to do it. Until next time, I will see you guys later. Goodbye.